This is Shakti Ki Maya with Shakti Awakening, and we're doing a special body process flowchart that is pertinent to what's going on in the planet today. And we are addressing the capacities our bodies have to disseminate and discharge what is coming up in that gets absorbed in the body. So it's like I've been using this example of when there's a car accident and people drive by and they go really slow and they take a look and traffic slows down, and there's this kind of this trauma absorption reflex. It's like you can't help but absorb whatever is going on. So as a globe right now, globally, we are absorbing on some level, unless you have a really good practice, we are absorbing some level of shock and trauma, whether it be financial shock or physical shock, or like if you're sick, or if you're afraid of being sick, or if someone is sick and it's not the virus, but but they don't know what it is and they have symptoms. And so there's this global aura of frightened energy. It's this fear that is being not encapsulated yet. It's kind of like when there's a gas leak and it just kind of goes everywhere. So there's this energy of fear that is this entity that has been kind of trotting along. And especially if you're an empath, you might be picking that up. And then you might have symptoms that aren't yours, and you might be aware of something, but it's not yours, but you think it's yours, and there's this entanglement that happens. And so I'm going to do this flowchart, I'm calling it. It's called Neurofascial Process for Shock. And I'm going to read to you just a little bit before I start. So Neurofacial Process is a tool that is useful in helping a person's body come back into balance, sort of an energetic correction. Neurofacial Process is based on using the nervous system and the facial system to help the body process information. By the use of your hands placed on specific points, it allows the body to become aware of the energetic communication and rebalances. This protocol will help release excess shock from your system. You may not think you personally don't have any shock, but over the years, you will have accumulated, as everyone has, on some level of an energetic shock. Everybody benefits from using this protocol. Shock is a bit like an energetic field. You can be affected by someone else who is experiencing high levels of stress and shock. This is important, especially right now with all that is happening. Shock affects the immune system by suppressing its function. It also keeps us in red alert. Perform this protocol daily for several days or in times of high stress, and you will or should notice more calm and sense of peace, better sleep, less brain fog, and sometimes more flexibility in your body, better digestion and elimination, and a better sense of well-being, just to name a few. And so with everybody asking to have their immune systems stronger, we're looking at ways to build, and I have a lot of resources that I'm putting together all in one area. I have Ho'oponopono for specifically the immune system, and I have other clearings and audios that I've put together that will speak to different energy imprints in your body. So this particular one is for shock in your body, which is so cool. And I'm asking everybody that does this to find the time to do this so that you can bring the calm in your ripple effect. So when you are calm, other people will be calm around you, and then the waves go out that way. And when you are in fear, and when you are spinning, when you can feel other people spin, then that goes out and ripples to other people. And so it's like one person can shift. One potent person can really shift. And so when there is a It's like the tuning forks when there's entrainment. So by doing this, you're entraining your body so that any other body that comes along with you can entrain to your body and be calm just because of your presence. And so that is one gift that you can give people. You can do this with them, and you can do this with kids and with just about anybody, any age. So how to perform this: you'll use your two hands, and or a trusted family member can use their hands so that you can relax as much as possible. You're basically going to place your hands on parts of the body indicated and hold for at least 1 minute. I'm going to say follow the energy in order for them to connect. Sometimes there's a frenetic energy or heat, and you'll find that there's an energy that wants to come out, and you want to push that energy back. And so you don't want to allow any energies to seep out of you. You want to send them back to source. So if there's a prickly energy, you want to push that energy back in and ask it to go to source so it dissipates. And sometimes you'll hear, or you'll not hear, you'll feel a pulse. You'll feel a pulse on one side, but not the other side. And then you hold it long enough, and all of a sudden they're pulsing together. So we're looking for the connection of those two. And every single one of these is different. They'll bring up different energies for yourself. So basically, you'll be holding each with your two hands at different sites in the body. And if you notice heat, that is a good thing. Stay a bit longer in those connections. Try to visualize it and imagine the tissue and your hand is connecting. So we're going to start with number 1. It's the adrenals. So the adrenals sit, they can be held in with under your sternum, which is in your front, and you can visualize the adrenals in the back, or sliding your hand up the back at the level of your bra strap area. Adrenals sit on top of the kidneys like a little baseball cap. And so one hand, you're going to be using the back of your hand, unless you can twist your hand the other way. I have to use the back of my hand. But you can access it from the front under the sternum. I like to do things from behind. And then the other one will be placed on the urethra, which is above your pubic bone. And the urethra is a long tube that drains the urine from the kidney to the bladder. So we're going to connect the adrenals and the urethra just above your pubic bone. And we're going to hold those points for a couple of minutes. And just ask it to run the energy, or just be present with it, or allow your awareness to connect with your adrenals. If it's fiery or prickly, like I said, push the energy back so it goes back to source. And sometimes the adrenals are aching, and sometimes the adrenals are screaming. This is where cortisol is pumped. So if there's a high stress, or if there's dehydration, the adrenals are the spark plug of the body. It's where the electricity is turned on in your body. And so if there's a lot of caffeine or stimulus, nicotine or things like that, that the adrenals are used to, they might be firing rapidly. And there are points that you might find that your ankles are unraveling, like you're rolling your ankles, or your body, your legs might be moving, as in there's an energy that you're trying to escape from. Just acknowledge it, be present to it. It'll shift. So the next one is going to be on the spleen. Spleen is on the left side of the body, just past the stomach. So if you put your hand on your solar plexus, it's above your belly button, and you move over to your left, your spleen is right there. And keep the other one on your urethra above the pubic bone. It's around the spleen is around rib 7 and 8 and 9. And also, the spleen is in a 5-element acupuncture, or 5-element, I should say, the spleen is the earth element, and the spleen is the holder of emotions. And when you have damp spleen, you can be stagnant with a lot of emotions that are stuck in the body. And the spleen is also, so if there's shock in the body and in your spleen, it will be saturated, and dissipating this energy is really, really, really beneficial for your overall digestion and for how you handle emotions. If your body wants to move, let it. If things want to unravel, if there's like stuck energy in your neck or your back or your shoulders, be aware of that. And just breathe into it. Maybe send a smile to your spleen. So the next one is we're going to put one hand on the forehead, and we're going to keep the other one on the urethra, which is above the pubic bone. And this one is representing many, many things. So it's part of the limbic system. It's part of the third eye. It's part of the craniofluid in your brain. And the limbic system is the flight, fright, or freeze. So if you are in panic, then this will help dissipate it. You might feel heat in your hand. Just breathe into it. Allow the energies to arise and push back anything that wants to come out through your hand so that it can be dissolved back to source. And you might find some of the points are longer held than others. And if you needed to spend more time on one that I went too quickly on for you, then you're welcome to stay there and go at your own pace. And you might find that your hand wants to move around on your forehead You might find that there's like sticky energy that wants to be played with. Whatever arises, it's all good. We're dissipating the shock that has been in your limbic brain and your third eye of what you have seen in this lifetime, what you're seeing now. We're dissipating energy. Discharging it is another way of saying that. And I'll post who this is from. I can't ever remember her name, and I didn't write it down. So it is from a woman that does blueprints, and she is well known for her work. She passed away, I think, in 2005. So the next one, we're going to take the hand that was on our pubic bone or the urethra, and we're going to put it behind us on the adrenals for the same placement. And we're going to take our hand that's on the forehead, and we're going to pull it off slightly. And we're just going to feel the energies off the forehead. So it's about that much off the forehead. And just going to move it just a little bit back and forth. So you'll feel potentially more energy in the energy field between your forehead and your hand. And your other hand's on the adrenal. You might feel it in your jaw, you might feel it in the back of your neck, you might feel it in another part of your body. It's all part of the bringing it up so that you can clear it. Again, this is for clearing shock that has been absorbed in your body throughout your life or now. And you can kind of massage left and right this area in your forehead. And then the next one, we're going to, let's see, that was 4. And then number 5 is kidneys. So we're going to move your hands down to, let's say where your hips are, right above your hips. The kidneys can be held one of 2 ways. Either place your hand under the back. It says hand under the back at the level of your waist or over your belly button, but imagine the kidneys. So you can do the front and imagine them, or you can put them in the back. So again, this is easier to get to, or you can put the back of your hand, whichever you'd like, just under your waist. And then your other hand is going to go on the pubic bone. So this one is on the urethra again. So the kidneys and the urethra. And you might have, kidneys. This is interesting. Kidneys is about fear and courage. And so in the balance of healthy kidney, you're in the courage of your life and you're facing your fears, so to speak. And when you're in the imbalance of your kidneys, you're feeling the fear and you're needing courage. And so there's a wonky energy that, because this entity of this virus is a billion times magnified of fear, your kidneys are going to be a magnet to it if you are not present to it not being yours. It's like friends flock together that are alike. And so if you're in a lot of fear, then your kidneys are going to be receiving the message of a lot of fear. And a lot of the resentment in your life is held in your kidneys also. So you have fear and you have resentment. The kidneys are a representation of water, and the time of day that they're actually at their peak is, I believe, 3 to 5 in the afternoon. So a lot of times you might feel really tired. And if your kidney chi is low, then your kidneys are needing some nourishment. And I have a whole kidney cleanse, 10-day kidney cleanse. I can talk about the kidneys for probably a couple of hours. I have a lot of information about kidneys. So allow yourself to dissipate the energy and discharge the energy of the kidneys as the energy wants to prickle out, or it wants to scream out, or it wants to run away, or it wants to bolt, or it doesn't want to be seen, it doesn't want to be held, it doesn't want to be loved. Sorry, I have an itch in my nose. I sense that the kidneys will want to be held for quite a while. You can come back to it also. You can do this at bedtime when you're about to fall asleep. You know, spend 15 minutes right before bed, or when you wake up in the morning, spend 15 minutes doing this, and it will set your day. It'll either dissipate your day or it will set your day. So release your day. Kidneys are talking, they're screaming, see me, see me, see me. Also a place where we hide the seeing energy, the invisible energy. Oh, there's so much I can say about kidneys. So I'm going to move on. I feel like another 15 minutes of that wants to be held. So I'm going to move on. So the next one is the spleen. So back to the spleen, where the emotions are, which are to the left of the belly button, over, let's see, left of the solar plexus. Just talk to your spleen. You can ask it to show itself so that you know it, and then keep your hands on the kidneys. So we're doing spleen and kidneys, which is an emotional roller coaster. So if there's if your head is swirling, if you feel like there's like your mind is on a roller coaster of some kind, then you're in the right place. So just push that energy back in, send it to source. I'm always saying acknowledge what is, so what is can change. It's true. When you acknowledge what is can change. So right now we're acknowledging the emotional stress of the spleen, and we're acknowledging the emotional stress of the kidneys with the fear. And the two of them are talking, and we're going to allow for the balance to take place. And maybe release some of the tension in your neck. And feel that building. Just go right to left or left to right. and down. Yawning means you're dissipating energy. You can circle, go the other way. Allow your shoulders to drop down. Allow your body to receive the healing between your spleen and your kidneys. Arm is getting sore. All right, so the next one is going to be the kidneys and the heart. And so if your arm is tired of holding behind, you can switch hands for the kidneys. The heart is in the center of the chest. And what we're going to do with this one is we're going to put one hand on the kidneys. You can put, across so you cover both kidneys. And you're going to put your hand on the heart and you're going to be massaging it and rocking it gently, slowly, left to right, right to left, back and forth, loving and being ever so gently and slow. Your kidneys and your heart have their own connection. And this too is a profound connection for all sorts of things. And you'll find that you'll release and you might feel pain in your heart. You might feel pain in your kidneys. You might feel an ache in your hands. You are intentionally focusing on the connection between the heart and the kidneys. You might feel like there's a bruise in the heart chakra or a tear. Allow yourself to be with what is. You might have a hard time wanting to stay present. Your mind might get really active. I'm just going to massage it left and right, up and down, loving your heart, sending it happy messages. Nothing is happening to you right now. You're safe. And breathe. And yawn. Dissipate. The more you can come into your body and be present with what's happening, and the quicker you'll be able to dissipate the charge and be able to calm and be at ease and at peace. So we're looking for peace and tranquility. You might have to do this every day for a week. But this is the flow chart. The flow chart is going to, one feeds the other, one after another. Shake your arms out. All right.